Happy Wednesday. My name is Teresa. I'm the owner and artisan at NTS Design Co. I come live with you guys every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. to do some fun painting tutorials. We've been working really hard together on this buffet. So I wanted to show you a couple of things today. I went ahead and blended the front, but I left the sides for you guys to blend. I was gonna stain the top, but as I was pulling the tape off, I had a chunk of veneer come off the top, so I had to fix that. So that will not be happening today, but we will be blending some sides. And if we're feeling crazy, I might show you guys how to apply the transfer to the inside and how to prepare the inside for that. But we'll see how far we get along those lines. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. This will probably be the last day that we do this. We're gonna be working on some finishing touches on this guy. Doing some shading and shadow work and things like that. I need to get a different brush for that. But yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing today. And I hope you guys enjoy. So let's get to it. So you guys are popping on, say hey if you have any questions paint related. I'd be glad to answer. All right, let me go ahead and get this fixed. So the colors that we blended on this piece of furniture, they are all Dixie Belle Paint colors. I used the color that we painted this piece in, which was called Dusty Blue. This is all in the chalk mineral paint line. There are many lines of paint that Dixie Belle carries. They carry the silk line that is an all-in-one paint. It has priming and top coating capabilities. They use the Terra line. That is a clay-based paint. It's very fun. It's more an artistic paint that you can blend and do some fun texture things with that. And then my favorite, which is the chalk mineral paint line, which gives me the ability to do these really fun, soft, cloudy blends. You can do these with any paint lines. This one just pertains to be my favorite to what I do for work. I also used in the navy, that's this darker color around. And then in the middle, we used paint blue just a little bit, just to kind of brighten it up just a little to add some dimension. I love this like a storm cloud look, smoke, whatever you want to call it. It's my favorite way to blend. I come back to this quite often. It's just one of my favorite things to do in general. And then we did last week, we did that soft stencil behind where it's raised, so you can kind of just see it a little bit, but it's just kind of in the background. It's not giving main character energy, which is what I want. I put the stencil right in the middle so that when I put my drops in here, they'll be perfect. I was going to use some Would You Bend on it, but I decided against it. I just really love the look of this buffet, and that was the lines that we were going for. So that brings you up to speed. Here is the side that is not done. I went back and sanded some of the stencils. So when you do go ahead and add your raised stencils, it's going to have some sharper areas, which is fine if you're into that, but I kind of wanted to sand it down just a little bit and then give it, hey Patty, just to give it some dimension, I guess. I'm not really sure. So that's kind of where we were going with that. Let me slide this over so I can paint it. Actually, I need to be on the other side. I don't know why I always do this. Okay, I got my little cart next to me that has all my paint on it. And again, we use the Dixie mud with that to get this look. So here are my paints. We're gonna go ahead and do that. You're going to need a couple of paint brushes to accomplish this. I think I want to do the smoky spot on the front. So let's start with that. I'm gonna show you how to do. I'm gonna pop you guys down and sit on the floor since I have my little patty pad here. Without getting stuff everywhere on me. You can do this with wax or you can do it with paint. I preferably, it doesn't really matter. I like to do it with any of them. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do down here. So I need to lower you guys so you can see, and then I'll raise you back up when we go to the sides. Hello from Costa Rica. Thank you for watching. And again, this beautiful cloudy blend, and we're gonna work on this right here. So this is fun. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're going to grab the color that your piece of furniture is already painted in, and you're going to, can't reach. Grab some rags. I use bag of rags. They're my favorite. I always keep some on hand. They're from Dixie Belle. It's just handy for me just to have little cut up pieces of rags. You can do it yourself. You can cut up t-shirts. There's no, like, they're not special. It's just convenience, and they're lint free and they're white. just little teeny tiny pieces of fabric, and then they have some bigger ones too. These ones are all small, but that'll work for me for today. I'm trying not to get paint on my clothes because I have to go somewhere today after work. I have to go to my other work and go do some stuff there. Busy, busy, busy. I'm gonna go ahead, spray that paintbrush. We're gonna work that water in to make sure there's nothing inside of there that's going to add any lint or dust or any loose little paintbrush hairs. We're gonna go ahead and just dab our paint on. Okay, I'm not worried about that blend. I will fix that. I just want to be able to have some paint for my In the Navy to blend into. I'm gonna give that a mist. You cannot blend dry paint, it does not work. All right, now the fun parts. We're gonna grab our In the Navy. Bring you guys in and over, okay? I have the Dixie Belle Artist Brush. I love this one. This one's my favorite, okay? I'm gonna grab the smallest amount of paint ever, and I'm just going to, I'm gonna offload some of that actually. I'm going to just create some dimension around here. I'm going to put gilding wax around this as well. Silver, preferably. This is very wet. So if it's too wet, you just offload some of that water, not a big deal. But you can see how it just blends in, and we're just creating a little bit of shadowing around that molding, because it would cast a shadow naturally. You can do, like I said, you can do this with wax if you want to. You can do whatever you want. I prefer, when I'm doing these blue colors, to not use a brown or a black and just kind of use whatever I'm using. And we're just gonna dab. And it creates that shadow around it, as you can see. Making sure that you guys can see that, because sometimes it's hard to see. All right, we're just gonna do the same thing on this side, grabbing some of that paint. And you can even like come in here if you want to, add some dimension in that. So it's got like little shadows, whatever you want to do. There's no rules, it's paint. Seriously, not that serious. I'm just gonna blend that out. I like to use the artist brush because it's smaller. Offload my brush a little, grab some more of that darker paint. And we're just working in small areas. You can see how wet my piece of furniture is, so I can kind of blend it however I want. And I'm not really worried about the outside part. I want that nice dark in the creases, because you can go back over it with a lighter color and then your dark stays in there, right? Perfect. So just grab back and forth as much as you want to. And offload my brush a little bit to get some of that extra paint off of it. You could dab here, you could swirl your brush, you could do any of the things. And then what I like to do is just grab here and just kind of smoke it out. See? And then if that's too dark up here, you just kind of add some of that light back into it. Like I said, nothing is set in stone. And you can grab your lighter brush or your rag, however you want to do it. See how it gives it that nice little bit of dimension, and then the dark is in the creases. Hello from Scotland. I love how you do this. Thank you, Patty. It's fun, right? So fun fact, I was terrified of waxes, which is why I learned how to do this, because I was so scared that wax was like a permanent, definite thing and it was just gonna mess up my piece of furniture. Before I learned that you can do this with wax, you can do this with paint, you can do this with any of the things, and it really doesn't matter. But I prefer this method because it's more forgiving. Like I literally can paint all that paint on there and then just wipe it off. And then if it's still too dark, and I get the same look that you would with wax without the panic of wax. And those that are afraid to use wax, I mean, you really don't need to be because you can just remove it with clear wax. Or if you're really afraid of wax, you can use top coat because the paint won't absorb it as well because your paint is porous, and so it's going to absorb your wax, and that's kind of scary for some people. Or if you just don't know how to do it, you can do it this way too. But I like doing it this way because I can do whatever colors I want to. And then I literally just, with my little magic eraser, and it's seriously that simple. I know I make it look easy, but I really promise you it's that easy. So you're just gonna take your little brush, put your little paint on it, grab your little edges, cover into your little creases wherever you want to, wherever you're gonna want a shadow, because like you said, or like I said, the light will cast a shadow on it, and that's where we're going with it. Literally just put that on there. We're just gonna use our little magic eraser, and it's gonna get all the paint, because there's barely any paint on there. Like that's no paint. And it just, ta-da! And then for this side over here, if I wanna blend that back out, so it doesn't look messy. And that's seriously that easy. Now these pieces down here, I could mud them, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna leave them because it's an old piece of furniture and it has some character, right? And that's what I'm trying to just add to the character and not take away from it. So that's how you do that really fun shading. If you wanna come in and just do it a little bit. Jeez Louise, something fell over there and scared my life. Such a jumpy person. All right, so this I want just a little bit darker through here. I feel like I lightened it up just a little bit too much. Like I said, not a big deal. That side's a little darker. You can opt not to use the little brush and leave some of that darkness in there. Or, okay, literally just slap it on. And let your brush do the magic. And just do some soft little flicks and it comes perfectly blended. Okay, again, about that much paint. And we're just gonna come around the bottom and that edge. And then I'm just going to just fade it out. And then you have that smoky look. That's super pretty. I want it to be a little bit darker over here because I noticed there's not any paint in that crease or this crease. Again, it's removing the paint from the top, but it's gonna stay in the creases. Super easy, guys. You can do this, I promise. I'm just gonna rinse my paintbrush out real quick because that will dry out before I get to rinse it out. So I'm just gonna rinse that out really quick and then we'll move on to blending on the sides. So I will still wash this with scrubby soap, but for just right now, we're just cleaning that out. And now we're gonna do the sides. Of course, more wood fell from somewhere. This thing's falling apart. All right. So now I have my other two brushes and I just have my oval medium and my oval medium. So I have 3 oval medium brushes. I like the oval medium brushes. They're great to blend with. For those that like to blend, you can use any brushes to blend. You don't really need to be specific on what you're using. You literally can use anything. Grab my Paint Blue. So again, the colors that we are using, the color that this is Dusty Blue. The bottom is painted in the navy, and so we're blending all these colors together so it doesn't look like a chop block, okay? Like that's not the look we're going for. Again, in the navy. Thank you, Patty, I appreciate that. And then Paint Blue. That's just for like very little highlights. We're not really using a lot of that. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna cover this, right? Let me grab my heat gun. Hold on one second, guys. Thank goodness everything is like arm's length because my shop is a total disaster area. I'm the worst when I'm in between projects. Everything is everywhere. Okay, so now I have my dusty blue brush. I'm gonna go ahead and give that a mist because we were using that to blend it out. I don't care that there's a little bit of End of Navy on there. It's not gonna matter because we're blending everything together anyway. So we're just gonna put a base coat of paint on this. We're gonna take our our dusty blue, and come up underneath that edge. And we're gonna do like we did last week, and we're gonna swirl our paintbrush over that stencil to get into it. Otherwise, if I just paint it, it's not gonna get into those little crevices. And I'm using very thin amount of paint, okay? We're just gonna swirl. And then back and forth. Up and down, whatever you want to do, as long as you use very smooth finishing strokes. Like there's barely any paint on my brush. That's how little paint I use. Let me move that paint blue because I'm going to make a mistake and stick it in there. All right, I'm just going to swirl. And I like that it's imperfect. I made sure of that. I didn't want like a crisp, pristine stencil. And I also made sure that it's just, I want it to look vintage. I don't want this piece of furniture to look like I made it 2024 when it's 100 years old. About that much paint. Okay. I'm just gonna dab. My brush is a little dry. I'm gonna just give it a good mist. I don't wanna mist this because I don't wanna reactivate that mud more than I have to. A little bit more. And a little more on the top. Like I said, very, very little paint. And just want a good base coat on there because I'm gonna cover all this up. So this honestly does not matter. Okay, I put my brush down. Ah! Hold on guys, I just got paint on my shirt. Let me get that off really quick. Of course I would, because I am not wearing paint clothes today. I can wear paint clothes and not get any paint on me. When I'm wearing real clothes, apparently I get it everywhere. Oh, thank you. It's such a pretty look. All right, bear with me with the noise on this. I'm just gonna go ahead and give this a quick dry. I do not recommend doing this at home. Do not use your heat gun. Let your paint dry. I don't have that luxury because I am live. We won't take long because like I said, it's a very thin coat of paint. You tilt your head to the side, you can kind of see where it's still wet when you are drying. All right, good enough. It's good and dry, so we can add some more paint. Let's go, guys. Let me grab some more rags so that I have something to wipe off my blend with and offload my brush, preferably on a bigger rag. See, they'll have like bigger chunks of rags too. This one just happens to be a bag of smaller ones. I'm gonna grab a different bag because this one is all tiny ones. Okay, stay. All right, there we go. See, bigger, yay, that's what I needed. All right, grab a couple of those and close this bag back up. Again, these are the bag of rags from Dixie Belle. You can get them at your local retailer or online, however you want to do it. All right, let's have some fun and blend. You guys ready? So what we're gonna do is we are going to take, I know I just dried that paint, but I'm gonna add some more on there. It sounds silly, but I need it to be a second coat. So that was just our base coat. We're gonna take our dusty blue and very thinly just add that where I want it. Just like that, okay? Nothing special. Now we're gonna come in, we're gonna rinse our brush off just a little bit. Clear water, that's it. Okay, grab our In the Navy. Don't be scared. Those that haven't seen me blend paint before are probably freaking out, asking yourselves, what is she doing? She's making a giant mess with this. I can't believe she's ruining this piece of furniture. Trust the process. It always comes out beautiful. I know what I'm doing. All right. Okay, now for my third brush, some Paint Blue. That's it. That's all we're doing. In the Navy. Okay, dusty blue. Now we're going to take our darker brush, which has the In the Navy on it, and just blend those together. That creates the illusion of dark to light. And we're gonna bring that down just a little bit down these legs so it's not so choppy. Make sure you get your edges over here so it blends in. Okay, now we're gonna take some water, take my brush, offload that paint, and we're just gonna work it together. So another thing too, if I want to bring the darker down, we're going to go this way. If I want to bring the lighter out, we're going to come up. So it depends on where you're spinning your brush. Okay? Doesn't really matter. At this point, just to let you know that you can do that. Need some more water. It's drying out. Okay, and this is where you can decide where you want more of your paint. If you want lighter or darker, and where you want it to be. And you just kind of blend it in. And it comes to be this really pretty cloudy blend. If you want some more of that dimension, to have it lighter in some spots, you're gonna offload your brush. Okay, and I'm gonna add just a smidge of light here and there. And you can offload your brush as much as you want. That helps you keep your blend where you want it. And you're gonna come back after you offload it and just kind of feather that in so it's not so like sloppy looking. Offload, swirl it around, offload, swirl it around, offload, and then just kind of sweep it. You can use another brush if you want to. I do sometimes, depending on how big or what I'm doing. Today, this is gonna work just fine. Up and down. Work in small areas, you can work in larger areas, it's up to you. But I like the dimension and where it just kind of looks smoky or like a storm cloud. Offload. I think that looks pretty. I'm gonna add some light in the center. And I don't want to do a circle. So if you want to pull some this way or pull some up this way, pull it this way, feather it in. You just don't want like a blob. You can kind of just feather that out. And see how pretty that looks? Sit back from it for a second, look at it, make sure you like the way that it looks. This will be a one and done. I like the way she looks. That's it. You can blend more than once if you want to. I typically get it the way that I want it and I leave it. If I don't like the way that it looks, I'll blend it again. It just depends on your preference. Okay? Now, let's go ahead. Let's remember this, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. All right, we got some little paint over here. All right, so now that will darken. When it dries, it'll darken and it'll look like this, okay? Now remember we did that shading down here on the bottom. These edges will catch some gilding wax, so will all of this. And I'll throw just a little bit of something over that raised stencil in certain areas just to kind of pop it out. Now we're gonna go ahead. Sorry for the squeaky. And we're gonna do this again, okay? Repeat, repeat, repeat. So for those that missed it, we're gonna do it again. Okay, we're just gonna grab our dusty blue and we're gonna come up underneath. I do paint over my hinges because I'm gonna put wax on them. Swirl, swirl, swirl. I'm going to stain the back of this piece of furniture and the underneath so it's nice and cohesive and looks restored. There we go. And that coverage is amazing. That's literally over primer and what I've sanded through, so. This is gonna be in my booth. I'm super excited about that. They're having this winter thing there this weekend. That's where I'm going today, where I sell all my stuff. Okay, we're just gonna dab and we're gonna swirl. And then swirl, and then brush. That's it, okay? I'm gonna hit it with my heat gun again, so bear with me on the noise, but we are live. Again, those that didn't see this before, do not use your heat gun. Let your paint dry. have to speed the process up because I'm live. I know this is probably not very exciting to watch, but 2 more seconds, guys. All right, good enough. All right, perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna repeat this process again. So now I'm gonna take my dusty blue, and where I want it to be dusty blue, and it's gonna dry a little bit quicker because I did heat my paint up. So if you guys do that, wanna know why it's drying so fast, that's why. Okay, we're gonna grab our In the Navy. Right, and then just kind of you can have a brush that you blend with. Today I just am using my In the Navy brush because I want that darker, cold look. And that's perfect. That's exactly how I want that to look. Okay, and grab some more of that In the Navy up here and around that edge. Dip my finger in the paint. Grab some more of that Haint Blue. Excuse me, Dusty Blue. Now I'm gonna come in with my Haint Blue, which is that very, 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 it almost looks white. It is not, it's a very soft blue. Okay. And now this is where I'm gonna offload my brush. I'm going to mist my paint because it's already looking dry. Okay. And we're just gonna do some circles. Remember what I said, pull the dark in, pull the light in, okay? Offload. Okay, move around a little bit. We're gonna offload that brush. By offloading that brush, I'm getting a lot of that paint off, and that's giving me the flexibility to kind of manipulate that paint however I want it to and move where I want these colors to be. So you can see it over here where it's very wet. I'm offloading it. I'm moving my colors around where I want them, and I'm able to feather that paint and create this soft, smoky blend, right? And the trick to that is you just really want to make sure that your brush has as little paint on it as possible when you're blending. So you can like really wipe it off, and the amount of paint that is on my hand is minimal, okay? That's what we're going for here. So you're gonna do your little circles, you're gonna move your paint around, you're gonna offload it. And then you're gonna do these little feathering techniques, however you want to, very soft. And then you can move your paint around where you want it to come. All right, I can tell you that this is dry already. Reactivate that paint a little bit. We're gonna swirl however you want it. Offload your brush, make sure it's good and dry. And then I can move this paint around much easier than I can with a fully loaded brush that's very wet. We're just gonna feather it around, just kind of manipulating that paint where I want it to go. Now we're gonna work on this side. The same thing. I'm gonna offload all that paint off my brush. And kind of move it around. And I'm gonna pull that down. And this is back. So this is that. And see how there's some streaks right here? I definitely don't want that. So we're just gonna soften that up. And that's with the no paint on my brush, I can soften that so it doesn't look so like stripey. I don't want splotches, I don't want heavy, I want it to be really soft. Like if you look up at a storm cloud and that crazy dimension through a cloud, that's where I'm coming from. And then I'm just gonna grab my edges really good and make sure that's where I want it to be. All right, what do you guys think? So that's gonna dry. This side might be a little lighter than the other. It's fine, it's not perfect. I'm an artist. I don't strike for perfection, but I do really love the way that that's looking. I think it's really beautiful. Again, I'll hit these with silver gilding wax. Again, all my highlights will be with silver gilding wax. I will not be doing that live because I don't have any silver gilding wax and I need to get this thing moving. So today will be the last live with this piece until you see it finished. And you'll be able to see that staged piece of furniture over on my IG or my FB. So if you guys are on social media and you don't follow me already, I would be honored if you went over to NTS Design Co. on all platforms and you'll be able to see that. So that's the look that I'm going for. It's very cohesive. It's very pretty. I really enjoy that look. I think it's really gorgeous. Super cute. You guys have any questions? We good? I love your start to finish videos because if I need to go back and reference how you did something, it's available to go back and watch, pause when necessary. Oh my gosh, you were so sweet. Thank you, Patty. Patty, you were super talented. You do not need me, I promise. If you guys don't already, you need to go over to Reimagine with Patty. She is a Dixie Belle content creator as well. And again, we used in the navy and we used this beautiful haint blue color. It almost looks white. It's like literally like the lightest color blue you possibly could get. This dusty blue is one of my favorite freaking colors. I love in the navy dusty blue, vintage duck egg too, but I wanted this to be blues and cool and not more greens. So that's why I went with this color. But those are the colors that we used. Again, on the inside, I'm going to put that transfer on it, but I can't get to it because it's got a lot of damage on the inside. If you guys can see that, I have to fix all this. So I was hoping to have that done for you guys, but it did not happen. So next week we'll be starting over another piece of furniture and we're just gonna create this cycle over and over again until you guys get tired and want something different. But if you guys have any questions, if there's a piece of furniture that you would like to see done, go ahead and message me or just drop it in the comments and I'll go back and look at it. So thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate you. I'm gonna go wash some paintbrushes and go decorate my booth for Christmas in October. Blech. Anyways, have a great day. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Have a wonderful week. Thank you guys. Thank you, Dixie Belle, for having me. Have a wonderful day. Thanks.